Hello, ladies. Welcome to our team call today, which is the 15th of March. And tonight I wanted to keep it quite interactive, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to give you some tips, and then maybe we can share some of our own invites and follow-ups and things like that. And then for anyone who's not actually on the call live, we can maybe potentially start a thread once I share the recording where people can share their messages or ask any questions or what they find really works for them. Okay, so first of all, this is a bit about the vital behaviours. This is the bit of your business that you cannot not do if you want to grow. And it's something that you don't need to do every single one of them every day, but you have to be doing them consistently. For example, I do not follow up every single day. I probably follow up maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I don't have enough people to follow up with to do it every day. And I don't want to spam everybody that I am following up with. Like, I try and like stagger the follow-ups. So, but step number 1, okay, we have to do connections. So how to connect is there's different ways of doing this, and we've all sat on different power hours where the top coaches will tell you different ways of connecting. So let's just run through a few of them today, right? So first of all, you need to follow some new people. You can do this in different ways. So one of the most common ways is to find a hashtag or an account that you like, find a post that interests you and like some of the people who are liking that post, and maybe dropping a comment on their comment on that post. And you can follow quite a few people. Obviously, you don't want to follow too many people because you could potentially get an Instagram block, but you could follow 10, 20, 30 people from that post and see who follows you back. What I would say is, although this method is great, it's probably becoming a less, I can't think of the right word. It's not going to be working as well to follow people like this as it potentially was 4 or 5 years ago, because people are starting to look more at who they're following and make sure that that person who's followed them is somebody that they'd actually be interested in following back. So make sure that you're doing this under a hashtag or a content that people will actually be interested in your content and will want to follow you back, because you don't want to follow 100 people and you get like 2 follows back, because that's just frustrating. So what I would say is I would use my own hashtags that I've used in my posts. So I know that they're saying that, that's a different story for a different day, but they're saying that hashtags are becoming more irrelevant, but they do still work. So still, when I do a post, I will then connect from the hashtags on that post, because they will hopefully, when the people then say, oh, who's this that's followed me, and have a look at my Instagram profile, they'll go, oh, well, that actually relates to me because she's got 3 kids, or she's forgetting everything because she's a hot mess, or she's super organized, or whatever, you know, something that makes them think that I'd be relevant to them to follow. Once you've followed them, as long as they're not private, you can like some of their posts, you can comment on some of their posts, and don't just follow them because it makes you look like someone who's just looking for follows. So try and be social on social media and actually comment on some of their stuff. Obviously, if they are a private account, then you can't comment on anything. And in regards to, would I follow private accounts? Yes, because I can always unfollow them if I don't like the content that I see, once they follow me back and they let me see what's on their page. That is my main way of connecting with people and finding new followers. Does anybody have anything that they want to put in that they do? No, not at the moment. Okay. Well, you can, if you think of anything, you can put it in the post that we're going to put in the team page. But that's the way that I would mostly do it. Another way that I have done it in the past, and I would say I haven't quite done it as much recently because I feel like I've utilized it quite well, but you guys might want to do, is the ladies that I follow that are local. So I know them potentially from nursery pickup or from some kind of children's activity or baby group when the kids were younger, is if I follow them, they follow me, I will also go into their followers and have a look and follow people that I either recognize from brownies or, you know, the different activities, because then you've already got a small part of the trust factor in there as well, because they recognize you, they know who you are, there's a good chance they've seen you out running, or they've seen you post something on Facebook, or one of your friends has shared it already. So that's another really good way of finding new followers and then connecting with them. Okay, any questions? No? Okay. Once they return the follow, so this is then the next step, okay? So once they return the follow, you don't just go cold on them, you know, because then they're just going to unfollow you because they've no interest, because you've not shown them any love. So once they return the follow, always send them a little DM thanking them for their follow, and if they have been private, share some love on their page. Have different messages that you can send to people. For this, I would very much just have a copy and paste message, okay? Because you don't know this person, you can't really overly personalize it to them. So I have a copy and paste message, but if there is something that's really bounced out of their page at me, you know, like they've got the same dog as me, or they've got 3 kids the same age, or something like that, then I would add a little bit extra into that copy and paste message, but I wouldn't spend ages creating a message to somebody that it's just an initial contact message. So for example, I have, hi, I would add their name in. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you? I hope you enjoy my crazy mix of fitness, business, the hot mess life. I love sharing what I'm up to. So any questions about anything, please just ask. Delighted to have you here. That's my current one. It changes. I kind of tweak it. And then, like I say, if there is something that specifically attracted to me to their page, I could add it in or change it. And what I would say, top tip from when I first started coaching, if you are going to use a copy and paste message, make sure that you've copied the message that you're copying doesn't have anyone's name written in it, because if you're sending a few messages, then you will at some point, no matter how hard you try, call somebody by the wrong name. Okay, but you probably know that anyway. So that is there, and then hopefully they'll return your message and you can back and forth a little bit, and just keep liking stuff on their page, and just keep, you could even share it to a folder of people who I've clicked with, call it whatever you want, a folder, people I'm currently connecting with or whatever, so you make sure that you don't forget about them. Okay, invites. So I'm not saying you jump straight from that to an invite, but the next one that I've got on the list is invites. Specifically, what is an invite? I think this could be quite confusing, especially for new coaches who think they're inviting people to things, but actually aren't. So when you're talking to people about your fitness, what you do, and what they do, that is not an invite, okay? And I'm sorry if that sounds really like obvious, or like I don't mean it to sound obvious, but I think people do get confused that if they're telling people about what they do, that they think they're actually inviting them to what they do. You have got to be black and white. If you are inviting somebody, if you're classing it as an invite, you have to say to them, would you like some more information? Would you like to join my group? Can I send you this the link to the sample workout? Can I send you some information? If you're just telling them, oh, I do this group and it's really good and there's a sample workout and I'm loving the workouts, what do you do? That's not an invite, because people are just like, oh, well, this is what I do. They do, a lot of times they won't even realize that you're inviting them. Well, in your head, you're inviting them to try one of your things. So make it as if you do a post, you know, when you do a post with a specific call to action, put a call to action in your invite. Because that way there's no confusion and people will understand that you're actually inviting them to the group. Does that make sense as well? Okay, so for example, I did say I would share my own stuff as well. I have got, this isn't the whole invite, but I'm sending out a message just now, and at the end of it, I've got, in fact, I have a free group running later this month. Yes, I'm doing a free group. I haven't done one for about a year. So if you'd like to try some of my workouts, I'd love to have you there. Can I add you in? That's the actual invite, because then they know that I want them to be in there. Okay? Any questions? No, I love this. I love an audience that doesn't ask any questions. Okay, follow-ups. So follow-ups are what you do after the invite, okay? And again, you've got to be quite sort of black and white and transparent with people and make sure that they know that you're actually following up with them. So send them a message. Hi, and I quite like to follow up as a voice note. I feel like it's quite personal. And you've already had a bit of back and forth with them and you've already invited them. But you could send them a message, either written or voice note, and ask them, you know, how are you? You know, I sent you my information. I sent you my sample workout. Did you try the workout? How did you get on? Wasn't it great? So in that note, I would always put in, did you try it? Isn't it amazing? Because then if they haven't tried it, they might go, oh, well, hold on a minute. Is it amazing? I wouldn't message them and say, hi, how are you doing? Did that sample come through okay? And then that's it. Because they'll just go, yeah, the sample came. And then you have to go, well, did you try it? And then it just becomes wishy-washy. So be confident in your follow-up. Isn't it great? Wasn't it amazing? Did you enjoy it? If they then don't reply, after a few days, I'll message them again and say, hi, just checking in again. Thought you'd probably been really busy and hadn't got a chance to try that workout. But yeah, don't worry if that's the case. I'm just checking in. So let me know if you've managed to try it or not, because I'm here to answer any questions. So let them know that even if they haven't tried it yet, it's okay for them to reply to you. You're not judging them on it. Then sometimes they will reply, sometimes they won't. We all know minimum at least 3 to 5 times to follow up. Not 3 to 5 times every day in a row, but like, especially if they're still watching your stories and liking your posts and are actively on your page, I would keep following up. If they've completely disappeared off your page and they don't answer after 3 times, then I would potentially stop following up, because if they're not watching anything, then they're clearly just wanting to be left alone. One that I do sometimes do, if they keep following me, keep watching what I'm doing and liking stuff, and like I've maybe sent them 3 or 4 messages and they haven't replied, I send them a message saying, are you okay? Like, I haven't offended you, or nothing's happened, has it? And I tell you what, that has a great success rate for people replying. So, and then you can kind of, and it's not me being mean, it's just then once they reply, you can try and get talking to them again, because quite often they're just not ready yet, or they're not answering, they're ghosting you because they're embarrassed because they haven't tried it, or they're overwhelmed at the information, or they just don't know what to say to you. Obviously, if you've followed up a few times and they don't reply, then I would stop asking them about that specific information. But if they are still watching you, then maybe a month, 2 months later, reconnect with them. So reconnect with them. Here's a message I've got. It's what I mean. Hi, how are you? I hope you're having a lovely week. I just wanted to drop a super quick message to say I see you still following along, and I really appreciate that always. Hope you had a great day, and remember, if there's ever anything you want to ask or would like support with, that my inbox is always open. So I use that as a reconnection message. Got that idea from Julie Forrest, is that coach's name? Because then you're being there without being pushy to try anything. And then if they are still watching, they're not answering you, sporadically drop them a message. Why not? I've had ladies that have watched me for over a year, and I've messaged them like every couple of months, and then all of a sudden they've signed up. Drop some love on their page, and just kind of, if you see them still popping up in your stories, it's easy not to forget about them because you see them when you check your story views, and just reconnect every so often. So these are the things on your back. These are the things that you should be doing. They don't need to be really long. You don't need to spend ages on them. So I'm a big advocate of set a 5-minute timer for everything. Do what you can in that time and then move on to the next thing. I do find that sometimes you sit down and to do things and your to-do list is so overwhelming and you just don't know where to start that you can't be bothered. Whereas if you've given yourself a 5-minute timer, then you will do it. You will quickly get on with it and then you can move on to the next thing and you can get basically everything done in about half an hour. Yes, it won't be the amount that you potentially need to do to grow your business to the next level of what you're wanting to grow to, but it is something, and it is something to work up from, and it's something to fit in the busy days. And like literally today I've sent 5 invites and that's it, and I've followed some people because I've been so full on. But if you're doing, try and find a way to split your bat into your week so it fits in with you. Like for example, just off the top of my head, you're working all day, so do connections one day, invites the next day, follow-ups the next day, and then at least you've got the time, and then at least you're still getting it done, and you could potentially do every task on your vital behaviors twice in 1 week. Makes it easier. Okay, I'm going to stop talking because this was the interactive part, but obviously we can do that in thread as well so that people can actually drop their messages and things like that under the recording. Okay, do we have any questions?
I haven't got a question, but actually, can you hear me?
Yes, well, kind of. You're very muffled.
Oh, hang on a second.
You sound like you're underwater.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? So you made reference to the Julie Boris recording, and which is, I watched it at the time. It was about 6 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's so good. So I want to watch it again. So I'll try and reshare it. I don't know if I can do this. Once you upload it, I'll reshare it in the comments because it's such a good recording, so helpful.
Yeah, but I think it should be maybe in the messenger pod that we have with Jeff, potentially.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, I'm going to stop the recording.